Hey, welcome everyone to Crazy Modern Gamer YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll actually show you a build for $550 US. So for $550 you can actually build a decent gaming machine with the components that you can basically play on 1080p, 60 FPS, all modern games. You can even play some older games on 2K and even some esports games like Dota 2, for example, on 4K with 60 FPS, which is just amazing. Personally, I have a GPU that's in this build, and I also have, for example, similar motherboard. Actually, I have MSI with exactly the same chipset, a little bit stronger CPU, but you're gonna definitely be happy with this build. It's gonna definitely be a console killer for $550 US. You can play games, as I mentioned, on 1080p without too many problems. You can install Windows. You can play some other emulators with 60 FPS without too many problems, like PS2 emulators. PS2 emulator, you can play even PS3 emulator, some games, original Xbox, Nintendo, and other emulators that are actually available these days. So starting with a case, I decided to go with the Fractal Design Focus G Black. You can choose between other colors. There is a black, blue version, gray, and a white. Fractal Design, I guess I don't need to talk too much about it. You have, also that sleek front panel with two pre-installed 120mm fans. For example, you can replace one from the front and put it on the back so you can have better airflow. Case is equipped also with dust filters. In this case can also be installed a water cooling top radiator as well. Side window, which is really cool because if you plan to maybe upgrade with LEDs or something like that, you can also benefit from it. It is designed definitely for a ATX layouts. It can also support high-profile CPU coolers and up to 2 dual fan radiators. Also supports cable management, which is really important these days, especially if you want to have your PC clean. You can also install hard drives without worrying about vibration. Also very nice airflow. It supports very long graphics cards up to 380mm or 38 centimeters. You can expand the cooling capabilities and some other things. I'm really happy with a Fractal Design as a company. I also have a Define R5 case, and I have it for like maybe 6 or 7 years so far, until the beginning, and I'm very pleased by performance. It's very quiet, it's very silent. It keeps your components cool, which is the most important thing. This is a $49.99 case. Of course, you can find much cheaper ones, but I decided to go with a Fractal Design. Of course, you can choose between colors, as I mentioned it earlier. The power supply unit is EVGA 450 bronze certificated non-modular power supply. It should be enough for this build. I mean, $57 US. You always need to go with at least bronze certificate. It comes with 85% efficiency. I mean, single 20-volt rail, active power factor correction. It also has under voltage protection, I mean, should be enough for RX 580, no question about it. I mean, it can even, you can even run something that requires more power, like let's say GTX 1070, 1080. Definitely not recommendable, but for example, you can definitely have those types of the graphics cards. It comes with 3 years of warranty as well. It contains even two connectors with 6+2 pins, which is also interesting as well. Yeah, not gonna waste too much time on the power supply unit. Let's say $58 for the power supply unit. Probably the best budget power supply unit on market that you can find. Motherboard, I decided to go with a ASRock B450 Pro 4 AMD, of course, AM4 motherboard. I kind of like the design of this motherboard, and it's actually $89.99, so it's $90. Let's say you go with the gray theme and with this power supply, it should look pretty nice. But even if you go with the black one, it looks good. Probably, in my opinion, one of the best mid-range B450 motherboards. You can even install 2 GPUs in it. There's a plenty of other expensibilities, as you can see. Couple SATA ports as well, Ultra M.2 slot as well, which is very important. But the reason why I also decided to go for this motherboard is definitely the fact that you can install second GPU if you want. Of course, it's not going to run on 16, neither 8 PCI Express lanes. The second one is just, I think it's going to be a 16, the first slot, and the 4 for another second slot. It also came with Type-C, and that's pretty cool because you can connect something with a Type-C. Really important. Everything else you need to know about this motherboard, you can watch some reviews on the internet, but I definitely recommend this board in $90 range. I was planning to go with the Tomahawk, but I saw that it's like $120, so it's like $30 more. We're not gonna plan overclocking or anything like that, so should be just enough for Ryzen 3 3200 G4 core, 3.6 gigahertz. Max boost speed for this CPU is 4 gigahertz. So this is a $95 Ryzen 3 third generation CPU. It is a quad core, 65 watts. It also came with, it says it came with second gen Radeon graphics. Not sure if you can use this. Actually, probably you can use it without a GPU installed. Not quite sure if this Ryzen APU, we can call this as a APU as well, if there's a second gen built-in Radeon graphics. I'm not quite sure if that can be used with RX 580. Let's just forget this integrated graphics anyways. So 4 cores, pretty much more than enough to do some workloads, to play some games and to render videos in the background and stuff like that. You can definitely do it. It's also unlocked for the overclocking. You can even try to push it a little bit more, but as I said, you don't need more than this CPU. In fact, we can't even find better CPU in this range. I mean, if we go for Ryzen 5 3400, it's gonna cost us almost double that. It's gonna be faster for sure, but it's gonna cost almost double that. So in that range, I would probably consider going maybe with 3600 or something like that. For memory, I decided to go with just one stick of 8 gigs of Crucial 2600 memory, GDDR4 of course. Well, I guess I don't need to waste too much time explaining that. For Ryzen, of course, it's better to have a higher frequency. That works much better with higher frequency and also with CAS latency. Overall, this is stick for 34 bucks. You can add another one so you can have 16 gigs of RAM, especially if you want to have some, you know, let's say virtual machines or stuff like that. You can always benefit from adding another stick, and it's just gonna cost you $34 extra. Didn't want to go with much expensive ones because I really wanted to have this computer under the $500 range, but it was simply impossible. I mean, it's probably possible if we cut the RX 580 and if we just move down to, let's say, GTX 1050 or maybe RX 570, but I really wanted to have that RX 580 in this build because it's really strong GPU. It can be also overclocked to gain even more performance and boost, so I kind of like to stack with RX 580, especially for that 1080p gaming. I think it is definitely the best GPU to get these days for like $150–$60, especially a brand new. Speaking about storage, I just decided to go with Western Digital Green M.2 slot, 240 gig drive. It is a SATA 3, 6 gigabits per second. Transfer rate, I mean, since we have that opportunity to put M.2 slots, I definitely decided to go with it. It definitely worth some money. We can go a little bit cheaper, let's say 10 bucks cheaper on, you know, the regular SATA drive, but let's say regular SATA drive is like 40 bucks and this one is like 43 bucks, so it's like $3 difference, not a big difference at all, but we can get some extra speed as well. And the last thing in this PC build will be a MSI Radeon RX 580. It is a DirectX 12 compatible GPU. It is a 8 gigs of RAM version of graphics card, so if you're planning to maybe play some games in 2K, this GPU will definitely serve you well in 2K gaming. I mean, from my experience, I'm playing Dota 2. I can run with this GPU games in 4K with 60 FPS. For example, the games that I can play Dota 2, I can play on 2K with ultra settings, 60 FPS, New Warcraft, for example, and those are the games that I'm playing. I'm more in the strategy games, for example. You can play StarCraft as well. So if you're playing those types of the game, you're definitely going to be pleased with the performance by this card. And for example, Apex Legends, 2K resolution, ultra settings, I'm getting 60 FPS with it. On 4K, I can also get 60 FPS. I need to go down to medium settings, medium to high, and then you can get 60 FPS as well with this card. So what else to say about it? Really good design. It's definitely cool. You're not gonna even hear it until you start some heavy GPU you know, load up, until you fire up some games. It comes with one HDMI output and also 3 display ports. These days they're not making graphics cards anymore with DVI or a VGA port, so you're not going to be able to connect, you know, those old school monitors. But overall, it also comes with a dual fan, as you can see right here, and it only required one 8-pin plug from your power supply unit. And it's really good card, and it can also be overclocked as well. I think MSI provides 2 years of warranty. Not 100% sure, but you can also pay for extra warranty. So overall, this build right here that I showed in this video gonna cost you $543 at total, maybe with some promotional code, or maybe with 5% discount, or maybe 10% discount, you can go down to like 500. I'm really not sure if there is any code for something like that. But for example, getting a decent build for $550 is definitely worth it these days, especially if you want to play games on 1080p, maybe on 2K. This is definitely a build to go with it. I don't recommend spending more money than this because you're just gonna waste money, especially if you're gonna play on 1080p. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, definitely hit a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more videos. Let me know what you think about it. And yeah, that's it for today's video. Until the next time, have a nice day and goodbye.